Just kidding. Um, Sometimes people hear that sound and right away they go into prayer mode. The sound of a rattle. Somebody's gonna sing an autumn song, so we better get into prayer mode. Don't say anything. Quiet, quiet. Do you know why Hashak autumn used that sound or the rattles, like the goat rattles? That sound, that or that it's because it sounds like the rain falling from the sky. And you know, Achimautam, we live in a desert, and it's hot most of the time. So um, rain, prayer for rain, and you use the rattles to create that sound and koyam oit kabuak, the music. So, but what is autumn? I mean, if you ask a plumber, what does that mean that you're a plumber? They can tell you, this is what I do, this is what I do, or you can ask like somebody that drives trucks. Why are you a truck driver? What does that mean? And then they explain what kind of trucks they drive and height. Or if you ask somebody, why are you a painter or a musician? Then they can tell you what it means to be a musician. But you ask somebody, what does it mean to be autumn? I always kind of wonder what people's responses are. But the ones that I've heard generally are just about basketry and the songs and chicken scratch and all those things, which is okay. But what is the real autumn kutui mukamjit before we got some of the stuff that we use now? Before the European invasion, Manyabaga, before people came here from way outside. But I think when you just look at it, what kind of trees grow here, what kind of vegetation is here, like the bushes, the plants, the birds, the foliage, the different kind of animals that are here in this desert, what survives here, that's what the original thing that Autumn used to build houses, to make tools, to do stuff. The way that they dressed was all coming straight from the desert. It didn't come from far away, in which we use a lot of things that are coming from far away, from different tribes. And Piassaju, it's just that when you say autumn, you're really talking about the desert or people's response to what the desert is. Sometimes when people, talk about stuff and they mention a palm tree or, something that's not part of this desert, some of these trees, like apple trees or or banana trees or stuff like that weren't here a long time ago. Then you can say, well, that's not really Aboriginal autumn. This is stuff that a long time ago. This is what autumn used. So that's what autumn is actually. Um, there's been a lot of things that are imported in from different tribes. But if it survives here in the desert, in this desert, yeah, and you use it, to as a tool, pihasajo. But if there's only one of those things and you don't really find it here in the desert, then it's not Aboriginal. It's not something that's from Iya, from the desert. So that's generally what autumn is. It's a response to what nature tells us to do, the kind of weather that we have, really, really hot, the kind of climate that we live in, how the nature changes, yeah, and so that's what autumn really is about. And somebody basing something like the basketry a long time ago in Tono, they didn't really use the yucca and the bear grass and those things. Not so much. They mainly used like stuff that grew up right here in this side. The willow, those kind of things, mahukach. And it wasn't until the invention of vehicles and horses that people could go far away. You don't really see too many yucca plants. How much? Mostly like Bisinmo and up towards the mountains, Muiwaya, come up Ganuuk. But so it was kind of scarce, but how much, we see a lot of it again because of transportation, the invention of and the introduction of transportation. So a lot of those things come in, but the way autumn, like 500 years ago, didn't really include a lot of the stuff that we see how much. So, but I wanted to make mention to that. What's your response when somebody says, "You're autumn"? What does that mean to be autumn? And I always like to hear how much come. But now that you've heard Manhastio or what I'm saying, I think that you probably think about it before you answer. But prior to that, that's generally what they talk about. And they bring in, like I said, chicken scratch and, why the music, bochicho, cumbia, but that was not here, 700 years ago. So again, what is it to be autumn? How did you shave a long time ago? How did you brush your hair? Did people have tattoos? You know, I think those are the questions that people need to look for to really see are they responding to the desert like that again? But I just want to do this audio clip and just to see how much come if there's gonna be a response. No response, but I'm just testing this to see how people react, and then if so, then I'll use this because writing takes a long time. I set up like 2 days to write, one paragraph because I have to choose the right words. But this one, I don't know. Bimani. Okay.